Highgate Cemetery is a place where time seems to stand still, a hauntingly beautiful sanctuary nestled in the heart of London. Its overgrown pathways wind through towering tombstones, moss-covered mausoleums, and angelic statues that gaze mournfully into the distance. It is a place of quiet reflection by day, but by night, the air grows heavier, the shadows deepen, and an unshakable sense of unease settles over the grounds. Highgate Cemetery has long been the subject of ghost stories, whispered legends, and chilling encounters. But what is it about this cemetery that captures the imagination and stirs the soul? Picture this: a cold, foggy evening in London. The sun has set, and the city's lights are faintly visible through the haze. You find yourself walking along Swain's Lane, the narrow road that runs beside Highgate Cemetery. The wrought iron gates loom ahead, partially obscured by ivy, and beyond them lies the dark expanse of one of the world's most famous graveyards. Suddenly you feel it, a prickling at the back of your neck, as if unseen eyes are watching you. Then you hear it, the faint crunch of footsteps on gravel, though no one else is there. Your breath quickens as you realize that the stories about Highgate Cemetery might not just be tales to frighten children. Highgate Cemetery opened in 1839 as part of the Magnificent Seven, a series of cemeteries designed to accommodate London's rapidly growing population. Over the years, it became the final resting place for many notable figures, including Karl Marx, George Eliot, and Douglas Adams. Its grand architecture and serene atmosphere attracted Victorian society, who viewed it as much a park as a burial ground. But as time passed and the cemetery fell into disrepair, it began to take on a more sinister reputation. One of the most enduring legends associated with Highgate Cemetery is that of the Highgate Vampire. In the 1970s, a series of bizarre events thrust the cemetery into the spotlight. Locals reported sightings of a tall, dark figure with glowing red eyes stalking the grounds. Animals were found dead in the area, their bodies drained of blood, leading some to speculate that a vampire had taken up residence in the cemetery. The media frenzy that followed drew hordes of vampire hunters, curious onlookers, and paranormal enthusiasts to Highgate. This transformed it into a battleground of the supernatural. The Highgate Vampire may be the most famous tale, but it is far from the only story of ghostly activity within the cemetery's bounds. Visitors often speak of strange mists that appear out of nowhere, enveloping tombstones and statues in an otherworldly glow. Some describe hearing whispers or distant laughter, though the cemetery is eerily silent. Others have seen shadowy figures flitting between the trees, disappearing before their eyes. One of the most chilling encounters comes from a woman who was walking her dog near the cemetery late one night. As she passed the gates, she saw a figure standing just inside, a tall man in a long black coat and a wide-brimmed hat. His face was obscured by shadow, but she felt his gaze pierce through her. The dog began to growl and bark, straining at the leash to get away. When the woman looked back, the figure had vanished, leaving her with an overwhelming sense of dread. The eerie atmosphere of Highgate Cemetery is not limited to ghostly apparitions. Many have reported feeling an oppressive energy while walking among the graves, as if the weight of history and the sorrow of those buried there have seeped into the very ground. This energy seems to intensify in certain areas, such as the Egyptian Avenue and the Circle of Lebanon, two of the cemetery's most iconic and architecturally striking features. The Egyptian Avenue, with its towering obelisks and intricate carvings, is said to be a hotspot for paranormal activity. Visitors have described hearing faint chanting or the sound of footsteps echoing down the stone corridor, though no one else is present. Some have even reported seeing ghostly figures emerging from the shadows, their translucent forms disappearing as quickly as they appear. The Circle of Lebanon, a circular arrangement of vaults surrounding a massive cedar tree, is another focal point for strange occurrences. The tree itself is said to exude an almost palpable energy, its ancient roots intertwining with the graves below. Some believe the Circle of Lebanon is a portal to another realm, a place where the living and the dead are separated by the thinnest of veils. Among the cemetery's many legends is the story of the Mad Woman in Black. This ghostly figure is said to wander the cemetery at night, weeping softly as she searches for her lost child. Witnesses have described her as a woman dressed in Victorian mourning attire, her face obscured by a black veil. She is often seen near the graves of children, her sorrowful cries echoing through the night. Another haunting tale involves a spectral figure known as the Guardian. This entity is said to be a protector of the cemetery, ensuring that the spirits of the dead remain undisturbed. The Guardian is often described as a tall, cloaked figure with glowing eyes that patrol the grounds. While some view the Guardian as a benevolent presence, others find its appearance deeply unsettling. The stories and legends of Highgate Cemetery are as numerous as the graves it holds. From phantom coaches pulled by headless horses to ghostly lights that dance among the tombstones, the cemetery is a treasure trove of paranormal phenomena. Yet, for all the tales of terror, there is also a strange beauty to the cemetery, a sense of connection to the past, and a reminder of the mysteries that lie beyond the veil of death. Despite its reputation, Highgate Cemetery remains a popular destination for tourists, historians, and paranormal investigators alike. Guided tours offer visitors a chance to explore its stunning architecture and learn about its storied history, while those seeking a more chilling experience can venture into its shadowy corners after dark. But Highgate Cemetery is not a place to be taken lightly. Many who have visited speak of a lingering sense of unease, as if the spirits of the dead are watching, waiting. Some leave with strange marks on their bodies, unexplained scratches or bruises that appear overnight. Others report vivid nightmares in the days following their visit, dreams filled with shadowy figures and ghostly whispers. What is it about Highgate Cemetery that makes it such a magnet for the supernatural? Is it the sheer volume of souls buried there, their collective energy creating a kind of spiritual resonance? Is it the cemetery's history, filled with tales of tragedy, loss, and untimely deaths? Or is it something more, something we may never fully understand? The answers may never be known, but one thing is certain. Highgate Cemetery is a place where the past and present collide, where the living and the dead share the same space, and where the veil between worlds is impossibly thin. It is a place that challenges our understanding of life and death, forcing us to confront the mysteries that lie beyond. Would you dare to walk among the graves of Highgate Cemetery, to explore its haunted paths and face the spirits that refuse to rest? Or would you prefer to admire it from a distance, leaving its secrets undisturbed? The choice is yours, but remember, some places are best left alone, and Highgate Cemetery is one of them.